Good morning, class. Today we are going to review the words we learned yesterday and put them in our notebook. All right, let's see. The first word I want us to put in, before we put it in, we need to figure out which part of speech it is, whether it's a noun or a verb. All right, so I'm going to tell you the word and I'm going to give you 5 seconds to figure out if it's a noun or a verb. What's a noun? Good, a person, place, thing, or idea. And how about a verb? Good, a verb is an action. So remember, if you can say I blank or I can blank, then it's a verb. All right, our word is think. Think. All right, so we're thinking about whether it's a noun or a verb. All right, tell me in 3, 2, 1. What is it, class? Good. Think is a verb. Think is also a two-way word. How do we say think to spell it? Good, we have to say think. Think. All right, so go to your verbs page, which is page 16. All right, one more time. How do we say think to spell it? Good, think. So go ahead and write and mark think. Do it on practice paper first if you're not sure. Oh, and before I have us do that, which k do we use at the end of think? Good, we use line letter k. All right, now you can go ahead and write and mark it. All right, so pause the video until you've finished. I'm going to go ahead and write it and mark it. Class, which k do we use at the end of think or think? Good, line letter k. So for this word, what we need to remember is the two-way pronunciation think and a line letter k. All right, now class, think. That's right, I need to put my thinking cap. Think is an irregular verb. An irregular verb doesn't use what to make it past tense? Good, an irregular verb does not use edit, past tense ending, to make it past tense. So let's go ahead and put think and its past tense on our irregular verbs page, which is 19. You can see I'm getting caught up, but I'm not quite there all the way. All right, so our present tense is think. Which k do we use at the end of think? Good, line letter k. Go ahead and write it and mark it in the present tense column. Again, if you're not sure, you can always use your practice paper first. All right, class, how do you say think to spell it? Good, think. And which k do we use? Good, line letter k. All right, now class, if you remember the past tense of think, remember we don't use edit to make our verb past tense for irregular verbs. So it's not adding edit. If you remember the past tense of think, tell me what it is. Good, it's thought. And which ah do we use in thought? All right, the ah that we use in thought is o, oo, uff, off, ah, ow. All right, so if you're not sure about o, oo, uff, off, ah, ow, go ahead and write it on your practice paper first. If you do remember that one, you can go ahead and write thought right here. So our third column, same line as think, think. All right, class, which ah do we use in thought? Good, o, oo, uff, off, ah, ow. So ah, t. So there's only 3 sounds in that word thought, but it's kind of long because we use o, oo, uff, off, ah, ow. Oh, how am I going to mark this, class? O, oo, uff, sorry, o, oo, uff, off, ah, Ow. How am I going to mark it? Good. Ah is the fifth sound, so it gets a little 5. Remember, a number goes in between the letters of our phonogram. All right, now we're going to go to the back of our notebook. We will start on page 80 and 81. 80 and 81. All right, class, what do we have on page 80 and 81? Good, these are our spelling patterns for the sound I, so the different ways that we can have the I sound in English. So we had a couple words with our I sound yesterday. We had the word quite. Let's start with that one. So class, in the word quite, which I did we use? As we've got these different options, but remember this page, it starts with ones we use more often to less often. All right, so for quite, we use it-ie, and how do we make our it-ie say its name? Good, we use silent final E, job 1. So your next free line in your first column, go ahead and write quite. Remember, for the first sound qua, we need 2, it's a 2-letter phonogram. So go ahead and write and mark quite. All right, pause the video if you're not ready yet. So our sounds, it's qua, which we need 2 letters for. I, t. All right, but if we just write this, it's quit. To make our it-ie say its name, we have to add silent final E, job 1. All right, so make sure yours looks like mine. All right, our next I word was while. See, while I was walking the dog, I slipped. While. All right, which I do we use in while? All right, good. For that one, we also use it-ie. And how do we make it say its name? Good, we have to add that silent final E, job 1. Remember, our vowels cannot say their name for no reason. All right, so for while, remember we need 2, the first sound in while is also a 2-letter phonogram. So go ahead and write and mark while. All right, pause the video if you're not finished. Okay, so our first phonogram, remember we need 2 letters for that. And to make our I say I, we need silent final E, job 1. Otherwise, our word would be while. And it's not while, it's while. All right, class. Our next word, it's not using an I. The word is during. During. And we need to remember which we use in during. So we'll go back to page 74 and 75. All right, which do we use in during? Okay, so remember it goes from the ones, our page starts with the ones we use most often to the ones we use least often, but we don't use our most common one for during. During, we use the of hurt. All right, so what's our first syllable in during? Good, the first syllable is dur. And the second syllable? All right, ing. So make sure you leave your syllable break. Write during. Make sure we're saying it while we write it, and then mark it. All right, if you're not finished, pause the video. Class, what's our first syllable in during? Good, dur. And which do we use? Good, the of hurt. And then our second syllable, ing, we know that one. We see that all the time. All right. And I hope you had both the markings there. All right, class, we'll call that good for this video. We'll come back for a couple more. But remember, it's good to take a break. That helps get it in your long-term memory if you come back to it throughout the day.